Have you ever met someone who believes they're the smartest person in every room? No matter what the topic is, they always have an answer. They rarely admit they're wrong. And even when facts prove them wrong, they somehow find a way to defend themselves. What's interesting is that psychology has discovered something surprising. The people who appear the most confident are not always the most intelligent. In fact, some of the least knowledgeable people often have the highest confidence. So why does this happen? Let's explore the psychology behind it. First, many people mistake familiarity for expertise. When someone learns a little about a topic, they suddenly feel like they understand it completely. But true experts know how complex most subjects really are. The more you learn, the more you realize how much you don't know. This is why beginners often sound more certain than experts. Second, these people rarely question their own beliefs. Most intelligent people spend time reflecting on their ideas and asking themselves whether they might be wrong. But people who think they know everything usually don't do that. They see their opinions as facts and assume everyone else is less informed than they are. As a result, they stop learning. Third, they only pay attention to information that supports what they already believe. Psychologists call this confirmation bias. Imagine someone believes they are always right. Naturally, they will focus on evidence that agrees with them and ignore evidence that doesn't. Over time, this creates a false sense of certainty. Instead of expanding their knowledge, they become trapped inside their own perspective. Fourth, they often confuse confidence with competence. This is one of the biggest mistakes people make. Someone can speak loudly, confidently, and persuasively without actually knowing what they're talking about. Confidence can be impressive, but it isn't proof of intelligence. Real competence comes from knowledge, experience, and a willingness to keep learning. Fifth, they struggle to admit mistakes. Being wrong makes them uncomfortable because they see mistakes as weaknesses. Instead of accepting responsibility, they make excuses, blame others, or change the subject. But here's the irony. The people who improve the fastest are usually the ones who admit mistakes quickly. Growth begins where ego ends. Sixth, they love giving advice. Have you ever noticed that some people always have advice for everyone? They'll tell you how to manage your career, relationships, finances, and life, even when nobody asked. Giving advice makes people feel knowledgeable. But solving real problems is much harder than talking about them. That's why advice is cheap, but wisdom is rare. Seventh, they care more about winning than learning. During conversations, they aren't listening to understand. They're listening to respond. Their goal isn't discovering the truth. Their goal is proving they're right. As a result, every discussion becomes a competition instead of an opportunity to learn something new. Eighth, truly intelligent people tend to be more curious. They ask questions. They explore different viewpoints. They enjoy learning from others. Most importantly, they are comfortable saying 3 simple words. I don't know. Ironically, admitting you don't know something is often a sign of intelligence, not weakness. Because once you admit you don't know, you become capable of learning. Ninth, intelligent people understand complexity. They know that most problems don't have simple answers. Life is full of uncertainty. Human behavior is complicated. Success is complicated. Relationships are complicated. People who think they know everything often ignore this complexity and reduce everything to simple explanations. But reality is rarely that simple. And finally, intelligence isn't about knowing everything. Nobody knows everything. Real intelligence is about staying open-minded, remaining curious, and continuing to learn throughout life. The smartest people aren't the ones who always have answers. They're the ones who never stop asking questions. So the next time you meet someone who seems certain about everything, remember this. Confidence can be loud. But wisdom is often quiet. And sometimes the smartest person in the room is the one who's still willing to learn. Do you think confidence is often mistaken for intelligence? Let us know in the comments, and subscribe for more psychology and human behavior insights.